Hello and welcome. Today's story is called My Special Day, and it is by Reddit user Crushed Barbie. It's not brand new. I got permission to narrate it and I just haven't found the time. But now I have the time, 208 days later, according to my Reddit. But I want to give them a shout out. This is a really, really good story and I thought it was really interesting and I hope you guys enjoy it. I smile as I pull the cap down over my eyes. I don't smile often, but today is a special day. Today is all about me, and in a family of 12, nobody really ever gets their own day. My mother calls my name from the kitchen. It's almost time. I feel excitement bubbling up inside me because this is such a special day. Once I get into the kitchen, I see my entire family gathered around the table. I didn't invite any friends because I wanted this to be solely a family occasion. I see my brothers and sisters smiling, my parents talking. I focus on their faces and think of them, my family. My mother walks toward the back of the kitchen and from the counter produces a large cake. "Happy birthday!" they all shout at me. My family have never been singers, and I'm fine with that. It is obvious how much they care for me in the way they act, the way they speak to me. As my mother reaches over to hand me the first piece of cake, I stop her. I tell her I'm not hungry right now, and I just want to be here to enjoy this moment. I say I'll have some later. She looks disappointed, but today is my day. She can't say no. She begins to separate the cake into equal pieces as everyone watches eagerly. Once my brothers and sisters all have their own cake, my parents each take a small section. One piece is left untouched on the plate, and it's supposed to be mine for later. I watch as my family eagerly digs into the cake. I smile widely, and when my father asks what I'm so happy about, I tell him I'm simply glad to be here. He smiles back at me. 5 minutes later, everyone has eaten their cake. I stand up and say, "Goodbye." I am met with confused looks. My youngest sister asks what I mean, but I don't respond. I stand and wait. While she suddenly begins gasping for air, I grin while my family frantically tries to help her. My brother begins to turn red. Soon, the entire family is gasping, collapsing on the floor and seizing. My sister has froth trickling down from her mouth. I walk over to her and tell her she was always my favorite. It's the truth. In 5 minutes, my parents are the last ones I see move. They're only moving in short spasms on the floor, but are still moving. I watch my mother's mouth attempt to move. She is likely asking why I would ever do such a thing. I have an answer, but don't say a word. It's quite obvious, and she should have realized. I smile as I grab my jacket and head outside. It's sunny, but not quite warm. It's a beautiful day. I almost forget about the piece of cake. Ducking back into my house, I grab it and carry it with me along the sidewalk. I dump it in someone's garbage bin and continue on. I walk down the block to my closest friend's house. Andy had always listened to any issue I happened to have at the moment. When I reach his steps, I walk up and cheerfully knock on his door. "Jordan, I wasn't expecting you until later tonight. I thought you were spending the day with your family." I say something about my mom letting me go early, and he moves to let me inside. We head upstairs to his bedroom and play games for a while. When his mom calls up that pizza has arrived, we race each other down the stairs. We eat dinner, and Andy hands me a gift bag. After removing the tissue paper, I come to find out it's a new headset for my computer. Andy's known I needed a new one. "Thanks, man." I smile, and we have some ice cream. Today has been great. When we finally return upstairs to go to bed, I excuse myself to go to the bathroom. I purposely take my time, and after 20 minutes return to his room. Andy's fast asleep. He doesn't even stir when I insert the needle behind his ear. I walk across the room to the nest of blankets we've made on the floor, and fall asleep within 10 minutes. In the morning, I wake up to Andy's mom knocking on the bedroom door. I roll over and remember. "Andy, wake up, man. Your mom said she made French toast. Hell yeah." Addressing his mom, I say, "You're fine to come in. He's just reluctant to wake up, I guess." I back up and watch as she talks to his still form, growing in frustration the longer she goes without a response. Andrew, wake up! You have a guest! This isn't funny anymore. I watch her face drain of color the moment she touches his arm. She rolls Andy over, beginning to frantically shake him. Andrew! She's being incredibly loud. At this point, I think Andy's face has more color than hers. She turns to me slowly and breaks down. I act confused. When she whimpers out something about dead, I pull her in for a hug. I make myself cry too. We sit in his bedroom for 15 minutes, crying, until I pull away because I'm too hot. Call the police, I say. She remains frozen, so I get out my phone and dial 911. I make a motion like I'm asking if she wants to talk, but once again she stays still. I explain about how my friend isn't waking up, and I'm told police are on the way. I whisper that I'm going home now to Andy's mom and leave the room. I grab my jacket on the way out of my house and turn the corner of the sidewalk to see police tape around my house. I'm a little disappointed because I had thought I would have more time, but oh well. As I walk closer, I contort my face into one of sadness and worry. Who are you? A fat policewoman stops me before I can come too close. I'm Jordan. This is my house. Please, is something wrong? Is my family okay? What's going on? I raise my voice in both pitch and volume as I ask. I watch the officer's face fall. You don't want to go in there. Please wait out here with me. I sit in her squad car for a while. Probably an hour later, I'm told my family was murdered. Poisoned, actually. I break down. I cry. I'm asked if there's anyone I can stay with, and I pretend to think for a minute before mentioning Andy's mom. I explain to them about my traumatic morning as well, and they seem to sympathize with me. I am allowed to stay with Andy's mom. I'm questioned about both incidents and give the most heartbreaking version of each that I can. They let me go and stop bothering me after about 2 weeks. I'm told Andy died of a heart attack, and that although it seemed odd because he was only 17 years old, it wasn't too out of the ordinary because he was anemic. Wow, I hadn't even known that. I'm also reassured that they are still aggressively pursuing the murder of my family. In all honesty, I'm surprised I'm not more of a suspect. Maybe I am, but I wouldn't really know, would I? Either way, my father's business makes him plenty of enemies. He absolutely dealt with a controversial issue, and the police force doesn't doubt that there would be extremists willing to go however far they feel necessary to stand up for their beliefs. I'm allowed to stay with Andy's mom. Andy was an only child, and throughout my entire childhood I was sickeningly jealous. Andy always got new things he wanted, always had amazing experiences. Within a month, Andy's mom has signed the adoption papers. I was always so fond of his mom.